In today's video, I'm bringing you my Yami Marik 40 card deck profile. Coming up. What's up there and welcome to a brand new video on 414 YGA. In today's video, I'm bringing you my Yami Marik 40 card character deck profile. This one I'm really quite proud of. It was, I think before taking out all the cards, it was about 50 cards plus, I think. So I've taken out all the kind of dead cards in here and replaced them to make one ultimate card of Marik deck. And I'm really happy with it. It runs well and it stays true to Marik's character. In terms of that, it's basically kind of like a bit of a burn deck. So it kind of follows Marik's personality, that you're gonna burn or torture your victim, just kind of bleeding their life points dry, so to speak. And I think this deck does that really well. It's definitely one that's hard to play against, but if you're playing with it, it's one that's incredibly fun to play with as well. But before I get into the deck profile, if you're new here, why not join the 414 community by hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out. So that being said, I'm going to start with the monsters. Okay, up first is Gilgarth. This guy is, really cool card actually. 4-star monster, 1,800 attack, 1,200 defense. It's a nice strong 4-star monster just to get on the field and kind of overwhelm your opponent from the go. Next up, I run one copy of Melchid, the 4-faced beast. 4-star monster, 1,500 attack, 1,200 defense. It has other purposes in this deck, which I will get to a bit later. But once again, it's another 4-star monster that can pack a bit of a punch. Onto the effect monsters now. So I run one copy of Boganian, 3-star monster, 1,300 attack, 1,000 defense. Its effect is during each of your standby phases, inflict 600 damage to your opponent. So it's the first card we see in the deck now where you're inflicting that kind of slow burn damage to your opponent, slowly torturing them to 0 life points. Then I've got Dark Geroid, 4-star monster, 1,200 attack, 1,500 defense. A creepy looking monster which definitely fits Marik's theme. Its effect is when this monster is normal summoned, flip summoned, or special summoned, you select one face-up monster on the field and decrease its attack by 800 points. This effect lasts until the selected card is destroyed or removed from the field. Really cool effect. It helps you get helps you get over some of those stronger monsters, I guess. Next up, Drillago, 4-star monster, 1,600 attack, 1,100 defense. So it's another monster, it's got quite a strong attack there that you can just bring out to the field. Its effect is if the only cards your opponent controls are face-up monsters with 1,600 attack or more, this monster can attack your opponent directly. So, really cool, really handy card there, especially if you can just kind of go in for a quick bit of damage if they're overflowing the field, or you can kind of combo it with some of Marik's traps. Then we've got Granadora, 4-star monster, 1,900 attack, 700 defense. Once again, another beastie 4-star monster. This guy's effect is when this monster is normal summoned, flip summoned, or special summoned successfully, increase your life points by 1,000 points. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you take 2,000 points of damage. So, it's kind of like a double-edged sword there, but a really cool monster nonetheless. Next up is Helpoemer, a 5-star monster. So I believe this is the first tribute monster so far. 2,000 attack, 1,400 defense. Its effect is cannot be special summoned from the graveyard. If this card was destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, this effect activates at the end of each of your opponent's battle phases. Discard one random card from your opponent's hand. This card must be in the graveyard to activate and to resolve the effect. So it's pretty cool. You can get rid of some your opponent's combos if they're holding stuff in hand. Handy card, everyone. I love the artwork on this. Really creepy. Next up is a copy of Holding Arms. So 4-star monster, 500 attack, 1,200 defense. This one's effect is if this card is normal or special summoned, target one face-up monster your opponent controls. While this card is face-up on the field, that face-up monster cannot attack. Also, its effects are negated. While the face-up monster is on the field, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. It's really kind of cool, card that's just going to slow your opponent down greatly. As well as Holding Arms, we of course have a copy of Holding Legs. Once again, 4-star monster, 800 attack, 600 defense. This one's effect is if this card is summoned, return all set spell and trap cards on the field to the hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one set spell or trap card your opponent controls, and it can't be activated until the end of your opponent's next turn. So, can help you out there if you're, kind of wary of one of their little set cards in their back row there. Really cool. Then I run one copy of Duragado, 4-star monster, 1,700 attack, 1,300 defense. Another monster in this deck that is quite packs a punch for a 4-star level 4 monster. This guy's effect is during either player's battle step, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, you gain 1000 life points. You can only use this effect of Drillago once per turn. During either player's turn, you contribute this card, then target one face-up monster you control, then it gains 1000 attack until the end of the next turn. Once again, another awesome effect there. This card, definitely one that needs to be in a Marik deck. Lava Golem, you know, what can you say about this guy? 8-star monster, 3000 attack, 2500 defense. Obviously, this card is famous for that duel against Joey Wheeler in the Battle City semi-finals. This guy's effect, you know, it can't be normal summoned or set, but it must first be special summoned from your hand to your opponent's side of the field by attributing 2 monsters they control. So that in itself is, you know, pretty devastating as it is. I mean, you're giving them a 3000 attack monster there. The next part is that you cannot normal summon or set the turn that you special summon this card. So once again, it's a bit more of a gamble here, but this is where it kicks in. During each of the controller's standby phases, the controller takes 1000 damage. So, you know, if you can hold out on that, just like burn their life points down, this guy is incredible. Also, you're attributing 2 of their monsters. So if you can get rid of 2 of their like absolute powerhouses, you know, the duel is pretty much in your favor. Next up, Lukunga. 4-star monster, 1700 attack, 500 defense. Another beefy monster here. You can banish 2 water monsters from your graveyard, special summon 1 Lukunga token. It's not really going to do anything for you, that effect, but you know, it's a card that Marik ran. Once again, it's just a beefy level 4 monster, so you know, that's why I run that one in there. Then I run Makiura the Destructor. 4-star monster, 1600 attack, 1200 defense. During the turn this card is sent to the graveyard, you can activate trap cards from your hand. Awesome. You know, really, really awesome card. Next up, the Masked Beast Desk Gardius. It is an 8-star monster, 3300 attack, 2500 defense. This is why Melkid the 4-faced beast is in here. It's for this guy. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card cannot be special summoned except by attributing 2 monsters, including at least 1 Grand Tiki Elder or Melkid the 4-faced beast. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, equipped the Mask of Remnants from your deck to 1 monster on the field. Awesome, you know, big boss monster there, and there's not much to say about it. Big boss monster, one of Marik's best. That's why it's in there. Next up is a copy of Morphing Jar. 2-star monster, 700 attack, 600 defense. You flip. It's got a flip effect of both players discard their hands, then draw 5 cards. So, you know, you can devastate your opponent. Also, if you've got a really dead hand, you can flip this guy and get a fresh hand. Next up, Nudoria. 4-star monster, 1200 attack, 800 defense. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, target 1 monster on the field and then destroy that target. Awesome. Really, really cool effect there. Next up, 1 copy of Revival Jam, the classic Revival Jam. 4-star monster, 1500 attack, and 500 defense. Its effect, when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can pay 1000 life points, special summon it in face-up defense position during your next standby phase. So we errata this slightly when we play it in character deck duels. Obviously, they didn't pay the life point cost for this card, so we don't either. And it doesn't seem to make the game cloggy or anything like that. I haven't experienced anything bad from Revival Jam so far, so we'll keep it as that for now. If it does kind of slow the duel down and it's like, okay, you know, continuous ultimate defense, then we'll look into it. But for now, that runs cool. So if you play like that in your character decks, your character deck duels, then, you know, go with it. It's cool. It's a bit more accurate to the show. Okay, here it is. Mega Ultra Chicken. Obviously, Marik's God card in here, said to be the most powerful out of the 3. I like this card. You know, it's cool. The Winged Dragon Ride wasn't my favourite, but hey, it's a god card, so you know it's like one of the ultimates there. So attack ? Defense ? Obviously, we know that's down to the effect on what its attack is. So I'm just going to read out its effect on it because we pretty much play it as it stands here. So it can't be special summoned. Requires 3 tributes, of course, to normal summon. Cannot be normal set. This card's normal summon cannot be negated. When normal summoned, other cards and effects cannot be activated. So you know, standard god effects there. When this card is normal summoned, you can pay life points so that you only have 100 left. This card gains attack and defense equal to the amount of life points paid. You can pay 1000 life points, then target 1 monster in the field and destroy that target. What we also do as well is the kind of by the anime effect, the monsters that you use to tribute summon for it, you combine all their attack and that becomes the attack of the Winged Dragon of Ra. You know, really cool, awesome card. It's, you know, to be fair, you can get this guy out really easily in this Marik deck. So you know, very, very true to him. I'm really proud of that. Next up, we have the Winged Dragon of Ra Immortal Phoenix. So it's like Phoenix mode. 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense. Really tiny writing. I'll do my best to read this out. Cannot be normal summoned as set. Must be special summoned by its own effect and cannot be special summoned by other ways. If the Winged Dragon of Ra is sent from the field to your graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, special summon this card. Cards and effects cannot be activated in response to the effect's activation. This card is unaffected by other cards' effects. You can pay 1,000 life points, send one monster on the field to the graveyard once per turn during the end phase, send this card to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon one the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere mode from your hand, deck, or graveyard, ignoring its summoning conditions. So really awesome. It's kind of part of that three card Winged Dragon of Ra combo. So with that being said, the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere mode, here it is. So attack and defense ? And the effect is cannot be special summoned, requires 3 tributes from either side of the field to normal summon to that side of the field. It cannot be normal set. Then shift control to the card's owner during the end phase of the next turn. It cannot attack. Your opponent cannot target this card for attacks or by card effects. You contribute this card, special summon one Winged Dragon of Ra, hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, and if you do, its attack and defense become 4,000, which is incredible. You know, really cool. And I like that kind of 3-card combo on there. It's nice that they, like, Konami brought out this and Immortal Phoenix as well. I think, you know, just pays tribute to the Winged Dragon of Ra and the anime really well. So awesome. On to the spell cards then. So we start with Bait Doll. Force the activation of one face down trap card. If the timing of the activation of the trap card is incorrect, negate the effect and destroy it. If it is not a trap card, it was returned to the original position. After this card is activated, it is placed into the deck, not the graveyard. The deck is then shuffled. So it's kind of like you'll be able to get to use this more than once if you obviously draw it twice, of course. Next up, Black Pendant. Equip card. The equip monster gains 500 attack. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, inflicts 500 damage to your opponent. So, as we know, Marik already has some beefy level 4 monsters in there already. So this is just going to power them up even more. And of course, if your opponent does manage to get over them, they're going to get hit with 500 points of damage. You know, really fits Marik's decks really well. Next up, a copy of Card of Sanctity. Of course, we play this by the anime effect, where each player draws until they have 6 cards in their hand. No more needs to be said there. Jam Breeding Machine. So, continuous spell card. This works with Revival Jam. During each of your standby phases, special summon one slime token. Has an attack and defense of 500, and you special summon that in attack position. You cannot summon any monsters except slime tokens, but you can set. So, this is basically just building up a defense if for some reason you need to. Left Arm Offering, you know, cool artwork. I love this card. Spell card. I love this card, sorry. If you have 2 or more other cards in your hand, banish your entire hand, add 1 spell card from your deck to your hand. You cannot set spell or trap cards during the turn you activate this card. So this is handy if you're after one specific spell card from your deck. So, you know, obviously you have to like almost sacrifice a turn, but, you know, if the card's worth it, then this one's definitely going to come in handy. Magical Stone Excavation. So this is really cool. It's basically just recycling. You discard 2 cards to select 1 spell card from your graveyard and add it to your hand. So yeah, recycling power there. Next up, a copy of Monster Reborn. Obviously, yeah, no more needs to be said there. Same again, Pot of Greed. This and Monster Reborn are basically just staples to my character decks. I feel that every character, if we didn't see them use them, they would have them in their decks. So I put them in like all of them because they are 2 really handy cards to have. Next up is Remove Trap. This is a classic old school spell card here. Destroy 1 face-up trap card on the field, so really handy, especially if you're playing someone like Joey. He's got Fairy Box out. Drop that, and then you're free to attack. Then we have Spell of Pain, a quick play spell card. Activate only when an effect is activated that would inflict effect damage to you. Switch the effect damage to your opponent's life points instead. Awesome, more burn damage on your opponent. Okay, the Mask of Remnants. So this goes with that combo there. It goes with that Mass Beast Gardius combo. So shuffle this card into the owner's deck, or if this card was put into play by the effect of Mass Beast Gardius, this card is treated as an equip card. Control of the equipped monster is switched. So, you know, you're basically stealing an opponent's monster, which is awesome. Final spell card is Tribute Burial. You cannot special summon for the rest of this turn. Once during this turn, you can conduct a tribute summon that requires 2 tributes by banishing 1 monster from each graveyard instead of tributing. Awesome. Trap cards. We're starting with the awesome Coffin Seller. Continuous trap card, this one. Each time a monster card is sent to your opponent's graveyard, inflict 300 damage to your opponent, which is awesome. So not only are they losing a monster, they're taking 300 points damage. Obviously not much, but over time this could build up to be quite quite fatal. Jam Defender, another continuous trap card here. Each time a monster on your opponent's side of the field attacks a monster on your side of the field, while you have Revival Jam face up, you can change the attack target to Revival Jam. And of course, if we've got it being summoned again the next turn, it's basically a great wall of defense for Marik. Malevolent Catastrophe. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. Bit of a troll card there. Metal Reflect Slime, another continuous trap card in here. It kind of works as another means of an ultimate defense for Marik. You special summon this card in defense position as an effect monster with no attack, but it has 3000 defense. This card is also still a trap card, and the card cannot attack. Next up, a copy of the Devastating Mirror Force. Activate only when your opponent's monster declares an attack. Destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. Nightmare Wheel, once again, continuous trap card. And this one really is one of your kind of classic Marik cards here. So you target one monster your opponent controls. It cannot attack or change its battle position. When it leaves the field, destroy this card. But during each of your standby phases, while that monster is on the field, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. So this is that classic Marik torture burn damage there. So this is if you think of Marik, this card is definitely one that comes to mind. Then I run a copy of Relieve Monster. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, target one monster you control, return that target to the hand, then special summon one level 4 monster from your hand. Awesome. Final trap card is Rope of Life. When one of your monsters is sent to the graveyard by battle, discard your entire hand to special summon that monster, and it gains 800 attack. Absolutely awesome, like a Monster Reborn, but they get stronger as well. But there we go, that was my 40 card Yami Marik character deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it there. Let me know what your thoughts on this deck are in the comment section below. For me, I think this is the best one I've built for him, and as Konami continue to hopefully release more cards for him, I'll obviously work on the deck to make it stronger and better. But if you want more of these character deck profiles, character deck duels, Yu-Gi-Oh! Fact videos and more, hit the subscribe button right now. And if you found value in today's video, don't forget to smash the like button, share the video with a friend, or just leave me a comment in the section below. I'm on social media as well, so let's connect over there. But once again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care.